The rain fell hard on New Seoul Station. Water poured down from the broken sky panels above the old docking sector. Most people stayed inside on nights like this. The station's weather system was failing, and nobody wanted to fix this abandoned part of the station. Dae-hyun walked through the rain with a bag of supplies under his coat. He was tired. His military boots splashed through puddles as he took his usual shortcut home. The human veteran had seen enough rain on enough worlds to not care about getting wet anymore. Something caught his eye near a broken cargo container. A shape, too big to be trash, too still to be sleeping normally. Dae-hyun stopped walking. His military training made him cautious. He stepped closer, keeping his hand near the knife on his belt. Then, he saw what it was. A Drakari, a dragon girl, curled up under the container like a dying animal. Her scales were supposed to be beautiful. Drakari scales usually shined like metal, but hers looked dull and cracked, silver blue, but faded. Her wings wrapped around her thin body. They were torn in places. She shivered in the cold rain. Dae-hyun had seen Drakari before. They were warriors, proud and strong. They breathed fire and fought in the Galactic Coalition's elite forces. Nobody messed with a Drakari. They were 4 times stronger than humans and twice as tall. This one looked like she was dying. He should walk away. That's what anyone else would do. Drakari had strict honor codes. Helping a fallen warrior was an insult to their pride. Other species on the station would laugh at him for even thinking about it. But Dae-hyun had been a soldier. He had seen too many people die alone. He had promised himself he would never walk past someone who needed help, even if they were alien, even if they had scales and wings. He opened his umbrella. It was old and cheap, but it kept the rain off. Dae-hyun walked over and held it above the Drakari girl. Water stopped falling on her shivering body. Her eyes opened slowly. They were amber-colored, but pale, sick-looking. She stared at him with confusion. Her mouth opened slightly, showing sharp teeth. She tried to growl, but it came out as a weak cough. Smoke puffed from her nostrils. Not fire, just sad little puffs of smoke. "You'll catch your death out here," Dae-hyun said in trade common. His voice was quiet and calm. The Drakari girl tried to say something. Her voice was rough and broken. "Leave me." "Can't do that," Dae-hyun said simply. He knelt down beside her. She was big, even curled up. Drakari were naturally large, but when he touched her shoulder, he realized how light she felt. She should weigh much more. She was starving. "I'm going to pick you up now," he told her. She tried to pull away, tried to refuse, but she was too weak. Dae-hyun slid his arms under her and lifted. She weighed less than his military pack used to. Her scales felt cold and rough against his skin. Dragons were supposed to be warm. Fire burned inside them. This one felt like ice. He started walking toward his apartment. The rain kept falling. He held the umbrella over both of them. As best he could, other aliens watched as he passed. A Kravik merchant pointed and laughed. A Zentari family hurried their children away, like the sight was shameful. A group of station workers whispered to each other. Everyone knew what a fallen Drakari meant. Dae-hyun could see the marks on her wrists. Honor brands. But they were broken, burned away. That meant she was Broken Blade in Drakari culture, an outcast. Someone who failed in battle and survived when they should have died. The galaxy had no mercy for broken warriors, but Dae-hyun kept walking. He had learned a long time ago that the galaxy's rules were stupid. Honor codes that said you should let people die alone were stupid. Pride that kept you from accepting help was stupid. His apartment was in the lower residential quarter, the cheap section where humans and other weak species lived. He climbed 3 flights of stairs, the Drakari girl limp in his arms. She had passed out from exhaustion. The apartment was small. 1 room with a bed, a small kitchen, and a bathroom. Everything a retired soldier needed. Nothing extra. Dae-hyun laid the dragon girl on his bed. It was the only soft place to rest. He looked at her under the light. She was in bad shape. Her scales were cracked and peeling in places. Old wounds covered her body. Energy burns from plasma weapons. Blade cuts that had healed badly. Infection in her wing membranes. The brands on her wrists were the worst. Someone had burned them on purpose, marked her as broken, cast out. Dae-hyun went to his closet and pulled out his old military medical kit. He had kept it after leaving the Terran Defense Corps. Good medicine was expensive on frontier stations. He cleaned her wounds carefully, applied antibiotics. Human medicine, but the kit's scanner said it would work on Drakari biology. She didn't wake up while he worked. That worried him. She was barely breathing. Her body was shutting down. He made nutrient broth from his emergency supplies. The medical kit had information on Drakari dietary needs. They were carnivores, needed protein and minerals. He mixed in supplements and heated it carefully. When it was ready, he lifted her head gently and made her drink. She swallowed by reflex, still unconscious. Good. Her body needed fuel. Dae-hyun worked for 2 hours. Cleaning, treating, feeding. Finally, he wrapped her in thermal blankets. Her body temperature was too low. She needed to warm up. He stepped back and looked at what he had done. A human veteran, taking care of a dying dragon warrior. The galaxy would think he was crazy. His own people might think he was crazy, but he had meant what he said. He couldn't just walk past someone dying in the rain. Dae-hyun pulled a chair next to the bed and sat down. He would keep watch tonight. Make sure she kept breathing. Make sure she didn't get worse. Outside, the rain kept falling. Water ran down the window in streams. The station's lights flickered in the darkness beyond. The dragon girl made a small sound in her sleep. Not words, just a whimper. Like she was having nightmares. "You're safe now," Dae-hyun said quietly, even though she couldn't hear him. "Nobody's going to hurt you here." Still. 0. Nobody's. 0. He didn't know her story yet. Didn't know how she ended up broken and dying in an abandoned docking sector. Didn't know if she would even want his help when she woke up. But he knew one thing. He had held an umbrella over her in the rain. That meant something. In human culture, when you help someone, you see it through. You don't give up on them. The galaxy might have given up on her. Her own people might have abandoned her. But Dae-hyun hadn't survived 3 wars by following the galaxy's rules. He settled into his chair and watched her breathe. Slow and steady. Still alive. That was good enough for now. The rain fell. The station hummed with distant machinery. And in a small apartment in the lower quarters, a human veteran kept watch over a broken dragon warrior. Because that's what humans did. Even when it made no sense. Even when the galaxy said not to. They helped. 3 days passed before Hana fully woke up. Her eyes opened slowly, focusing on an unfamiliar ceiling. Gray metal. Station standard. Not the sky. Not the rain. She tried to sit up. Her body screamed in protest. Every muscle hurt. But the pain felt different. Not the sharp agony of injury. This was the dull ache of healing. "Easy," a voice said. "You've been out for a while." Hana turned her head. The human. The one from the rain. He sat at a small table, eating something from a bowl. He looked tired. Like he hadn't slept much. "Where?" Her voice came out as a rasp. Her throat felt like sand. "My apartment. Lower residential quarter." He stood up and brought her a cup of water. "Drink slowly." Hana stared at the cup, then at him. Suspicion filled her mind. Why would a human help her? What did he want? But her thirst was stronger than her suspicion. She drank. The water tasted clean and cool. She drank the whole cup. "More?" he asked. She nodded. He refilled it. She drank again. I'm Daehyun, the human said. You're safe here. Safe. Hana almost laughed. She hadn't been safe in 2 cycles. Not since her unit died. Not since her clan marked her as Broken Blade. You should not have brought me here, Hana said. Her trade common was good, but her voice was still weak. I am dishonored. Helping me insults your reputation. Daehyun shrugged. Don't care much about reputation. You don't understand Drakari culture. You're right. I don't. He sat back down at his table. But I understand leaving people to die. Did enough of that in the war. Don't plan to do it anymore. Hana fell silent. She looked around the small apartment. 1 room. Simple furniture. Military neat. This human was a veteran. She could tell by how he moved, how he positioned things for easy access, how he kept his back to the wall. Why? She asked finally. Why what? Why help me? I am worth nothing. The galaxy knows this. My own people know this. I am Broken Blade. Failed warrior. I should have died with my unit. Daehyun was quiet for a moment. He stirred his food slowly. I was part of the Terran siege of Caddis 9, he said. 300 of us held a position for 72 hours. Against 5,000. We had orders to hold until reinforcements came. He took a bite, chewed, swallowed. Reinforcements came on day 4. 15 of us were still alive. Hana's eyes widened. She knew that battle. Every military species in the galaxy knew it. The humans had been insane. They should have retreated, should have withdrawn. But they held, died by dozens, and somehow won. I was one of the 15. Daehyun continued. The coalition gave us medals, called us heroes, then quietly told us humans were too unstable for frontline combat, too willing to die, made other species uncomfortable. He looked at her directly. I know what it's like to be the only one left. To have people question why you survived. To wonder if you're a coward, or a traitor, or just unlucky. Hana felt something crack inside her chest. This human understood. He actually understood. What happened to your unit? Daehyun asked gently. The question hurt. But Hana found herself answering. The words came out slowly at first. Then faster. Like poison draining from a wound. She told him about the Silvercrest clan. About being selected for elite guard duty. About the classified operation to escort diplomats through a hostile sector. About how her commanding officer received orders to change course. Orders that led them into an ambush. 30 Drakari warriors, the best of the best, all dead in 15 minutes. Except Hana. She had been on perimeter patrol, heard the battle over comms, rushed back, found only bodies and burning ships. The clan said I should have died with them, Hana said. Her voice was flat now. Empty. They said only cowards survive when their unit falls. Only traitors watch from safety while their brothers burn. You were following orders, Daehyun said. It doesn't matter. In Drakari culture, the lone survivor is always guilty. Either I fled, or I was part of the betrayal. No other explanation exists. That's stupid. Hana blinked. What? I said that's stupid. Daehyun's voice was calm but firm. Sometimes people die and you don't. That's not cowardice. That's war. Anyone who can't understand that has never actually fought. No one had ever said that to her. Not in 2 cycles of wandering. Every species she met knew the rules, knew the honor codes, knew that Broken Blade meant worthless. But this human just called it stupid. You're only worthless if you believe you are, Daehyun added. He stood up and went to the small kitchen. You hungry? I've got protein broth. Not great, but it'll help you recover. Hana watched him move around the kitchen. He was shorter than her, even sitting down. Humans were small compared to Drakari. Weaker too. At least, that's what everyone said. But there was something in how he moved. Something controlled. Dangerous. Even. How did you end up on New Seoul Station? Daehyun asked as he heated the broth. I've been drifting, Hana said. After the brands. I couldn't go home. Death penalty for broken blades who return. Couldn't get work either. No one hires dishonored Drakari. Spent my last credits getting here. Thought maybe a frontier station would be different. It wasn't? No. I slept in the docking sector for 3 weeks. Tried to find work. Any work. But the brands. She looked at her wrists. The burned marks. Everyone knows what they mean. Daehyun brought her the broth. It smelled good. Her stomach growled. Eat, he said. She ate. It was simple food, but it was warm and filling. She hadn't had a real meal in weeks. Her body came alive with hunger. She finished the bowl quickly. More? Please. He brought her another bowl. She ate slower this time. Savoring it. You can stay here while you recover, Daehyun said. No rush, no payment. Just heal. I cannot accept charity, Hana said automatically. It dishonors. Your honor codes dishonored you first, Daehyun interrupted. Hana had no answer to that. Days passed. Hana grew stronger. Her wounds healed. Her scales regained some of their shine. She could stand without pain, walk without stumbling. She started helping around the apartment. Cleaning. Organizing. Small tasks. Daehyun never asked her to. Never demanded anything. But Hana needed to do something. Needed to feel useful. He didn't comment on it. Just accepted her help, naturally. They talked while they worked. Daehyun told her about Earth. About a world so dangerous that humans had to become smart and strong just to survive. About oceans and mountains and forests full of things that wanted to kill you. We call it a death world, Daehyun said. The coalition rated it Class 9. Only a few species ever evolved on worlds that harsh. But humans aren't strong, Hana said, then immediately regretted it. I mean, you're right. We're not. Not like Drakari or Kravix or Zentari. He smiled a little. We're weak and slow, and our skin tears easily. We should have died out 1,000,000 years ago, but you didn't. No. We learned to think, to adapt, to work together, and we learned to be stubborn. Humans don't give up easy. It's our best and worst trait. Hana thought about that. About a species that survived by refusing to quit. That sounded like strength to her. One evening, she tried to breathe fire. Just a small flame. Proof that she was healing. She focused. Drew on the heat inside her. Opened her mouth. A tiny flame appeared. No bigger than a candle. But it was there. It was fire. Hana's eyes filled with tears. She hadn't been able to make fire in months. Thought maybe she never would again. Daehyun smiled. A real smile that changed his whole face. For the first time since her exile, Hana felt something warm in her chest. Hope. Thank you, she said quietly. For what? For holding the umbrella. Daehyun nodded. Anytime. Outside, the rain fell again. But inside the small apartment, 2 broken warriors were learning to heal. Together, 2 weeks after Daehyun found her in the rain, Hana was strong enough to walk through the station. She stayed close to him as they went to the market. Her wings folded tight against her back. Her head down. Other species stared. Some pointed. Most looked away quickly. A broken blade. Drakari with a human. Was an unusual sight. The market buzzed with activity. Vendors from 20 different species sold food, tools, and supplies. The air smelled like spices and machine oil. People pushed past each other, haggling and trading. Daehyun led her to a food stall run by humans. A young man worked behind the counter. Maybe 18 years old. He had bright eyes and a quick smile. Daehyun, the young man waved. Good to see you. The usual? Yeah, Jiho. And double it. Got a friend with me. Jiho looked at Hana. His smile didn't fade. Hey there. You like spiced meat? I got fresh batch today. Real good. He offered her a sample on a small plate. Like it was the most natural thing in the world. Like she wasn't wearing broken brands on her wrists. Hana stared at the food. Then at Jiho. You're giving me food? Sure. First sample is always free. Good for business. Jiho grinned. Besides, any friend of Daehyun's is welcome here. Hana took the sample with shaking hands. She ate it slowly. It was good. Spicy. And warm. Tears filled her eyes. When was the last time someone offered her something without wanting payment? Without judging her? You okay? Jiho asked, concerned. Yes, Hana managed. Thank you. They bought food and talked with Jiho for a few minutes. The young human chatted easily about station news and market gossip. He treated Hana like a person. Not a broken warrior. Just a person. As they left the stall, Hana whispered to Daehyun. He was kind to me. Vest. Jiho's a good kid. His family moved here last year. Still figuring out how the station works. But I'm dishonored. He should avoid me. Humans don't care much about honor brands, Daehyun said. We judge people by their actions, not their past. They walked through the market, heading home. Hana was processing this. Thinking about how different human culture was. Then they heard shouting. Daehyun's head turned immediately. His whole body changed. Relaxed but ready. Hana recognized the stance. Combat ready. They moved toward the sound. In a side alley, 3 Kravik mercenaries surrounded Jiho. The big 4-armed aliens were laughing. Jiho looked scared, but was trying to stand his ground. Protection money, human, the lead Kravik said. His voice was rough and mean. All you little prey species pay. That's how it works. I already paid this month, Jiho said. His voice shook a little. Price went up. New management. The Kravik flexed all 4 arms. Each one was thick with muscle. Pay, or we close your stall. Permanently. Daehyun walked into the alley. His steps were quiet, calm. Jiho's under my protection, he said simply. The Kraviks turned. The leader laughed. It was an ugly sound. You? One human soldier? He looked Daehyun up and down. Humans don't fight. You talk big. You negotiate. You cry for help. But you don't fight. That's what everyone thinks, Daehyun said. His voice stayed calm. Flat. Because it's true. You're prey species. Playing at being warriors. The Kravik stepped closer. I could break you with one arm. Known. Maybe. Daehyun agreed. But you'd have to catch me first. The Kravik swung. Fast and powerful. His fist could crush bone. Daehyun wasn't there. He moved like water. Under the punch. Inside the Kravik's guard. His elbow struck the alien's nerve cluster. His knee hit a joint. His palm struck the throat. 3 moves. 3 seconds. The Kravik dropped to his knees, gasping. The other 2 attacked together. Hana started to move forward to help, but stopped. Stopped, and watched. Daehyun fought like nothing she had ever seen. No wasted movement. No hesitation. Every strike targeted a weakness. Joints. Nerves. Pressure points. The Kraviks were bigger. Stronger. They had 4 arms each. But it didn't matter. Daehyun moved between them like a ghost. He used their size against them. Made them hit each other. Redirected their force. And when he struck to disable. 90 seconds. That's how long the fight lasted. All 3 Kraviks were on the ground. One unconscious. One holding a shattered arm. The leader staring up at Daehyun. In shock and fear. Daehyun wasn't even breathing hard. Human military training, he said quietly. We don't stop fighting until the threat is neutralized. We learn to target every weakness. We learn to win even when we're smaller and weaker. He crouched down to look the Kravik in the eye. You call it weakness. We call it survival. Now leave. Before I decide, you're still a threat. The Kravik scrambled up and ran. Limping and stumbling, Jiho stood against the wall, eyes wide. That was amazing. Get back to your stall, Daehyun said gently. And tell me if they bother you again. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Jiho hurried away. Daehyun turned to Hana. Let's go home. They walked in silence. Hana's mind was racing, replaying what she saw. The speed, the precision, the cold efficiency. The Galactic Coalition always said humans were the compassionate species. Too soft for real combat. Too emotional. Too weak. But she just watched a human destroy 3 trained mercenaries without breaking a sweat. Your species, Hana said slowly. No, we're not. But everyone says, everyone's wrong. Daehyun kept walking. The galaxy saw humans being diplomatic, saw us trying to make peace, saw us crying over our dead. They thought that meant we couldn't fight. But you can. We survived a death world, Hana. Earth is a planet that actively tries to kill you. Ice ages, predators, diseases, weather that can freeze you solid or burn you alive. We adapted to all of it, learned to fight all of it, and we survived. They reached the apartment, went inside. Hana sat down, still processing. We're kind because we choose to be. Daehyun continued. Not because we have to be. There's a difference. We learned a long time ago that cruelty alone doesn't build civilizations. You need compassion, cooperation, community. He looked at her. But that doesn't mean we forgot how to be dangerous. We just save it for when it matters. That night, Hana couldn't sleep. She used the apartment's computer to search for information. Human history, Earth, military records. What she found shocked her. Earth. Class 9. Death world. Only 3 species in the entire galaxy evolved on Class 9 worlds. Humans were one of them. Human biology. Extreme endurance. Persistence predator traits. Can run for hours without stopping. Can heal from injuries that would kill other species. Can eat almost anything. Can survive in environments that would kill most aliens. Human psychology. Pack bonding instinct. Will adopt other species as family. Will fight to the death for their pack. Refuses to abandon wounded. Treats loyalty as the highest virtue. Military history. Every war humans fought. They won through adaptation and determination. They learned from defeats. Changed tactics constantly. Never gave up. The Galactic Coalition's assessment made her blood run cold. Potentially dangerous species. Effectively pacified through cultural integration and diplomatic engagement. Recommend continued peaceful approach. Under no circumstances should humanity be threatened as a whole. Pack bonding instinct would unite the species instantly. Hana read that line 3 times. Effectively pacified. The galaxy didn't save humanity through kindness. Humanity chose peace, chose diplomacy, chose to be kind. Because the alternative was terrifying. She thought about Daehyun. About how gently he treated her. How patient he was. How he fed her and healed her. And asked for nothing. Then she thought about the alley. About cold efficiency. About 3 Kraviks on the ground. The same hands that held an umbrella over her could break bones without hesitation. We're only dangerous when we need to be, Daehyun had said. Hana understood now. Humans were like a sheathed sword. Beautiful and peaceful until drawn. And when drawn, deadly. She stood and walked to where Daehyun slept on the floor. He had given her the bed and never complained. Just took blankets and made a spot by the wall. Daehyun? She whispered. He woke instantly, alert but calm. Yeah? Your species. Your predators. Yes, but you're kind. Yes, How? He sat up, thought about it. Because we know what happens when predators stop being kind. We nearly destroyed ourselves once. Wars that killed millions. Weapons that could end our whole species. We stood on the edge and looked down. And we decided to step back. So you chose peace. We chose to survive. Peace was part of that. But so was remembering what we were capable of. We're kind because we want to be. We're dangerous because we have to be. Both are true. Hana sat down next to him. Thank you for teaching me this. Teaching you what? That strength and kindness aren't opposites. That choosing not to fight doesn't mean you can't fight. Daehyun smiled in the dark. You're welcome. Outside, the station hummed with late-night activity. Somewhere in the market, Jiho closed his stall, safe because a human had decided to protect him, and in a small apartment, a dragon warrior sat with a human veteran, learning that the most dangerous species in the galaxy was also the kindest, because they chose to be both. 3 days after the alley fight, Hana noticed something wrong. She was walking through the market alone, getting supplies for dinner. Her scales had healed. Her strength had returned. She felt almost like herself again, but something was off. A human shopkeeper had bruises on her face. Said she fell, but Hana saw the fear in her eyes. A human child ran past, crying. His mother held him close, whispering that everything would be okay. But she looked scared too. At another stall, a human vendor was cleaning up broken merchandise. His window was smashed. Hana's military training kicked in. This wasn't random. This was a pattern. She hurried home and told Daehyun what she saw. He listened carefully. His face grew dark. I've heard rumors. Thought they were just talk. What kind of rumors? That someone wants humans off the station, permanently. Daehyun made some calls, talked to other humans. Within an hour, the picture became clear. For the past week, human businesses were being sabotaged. Human workers were getting accidents that left them injured. Human children were being harassed at school. Nothing big enough to call coalition security, but enough to make life hard. And coalition security wasn't helping. They said it was minor incidents, and told humans to handle it diplomatically. It's not random, Hana said. She paced the small apartment, her tail swishing with agitation. This is organized. Someone is targeting humans specifically. But why? Daehyun asked. Hana thought about it. She still had contacts from her military days. Even dishonored Drakari could access certain information networks. Let me check something. CO. She spent 2 hours on encrypted channels, talking to old sources, trading favors, piecing together information. What she found made her angry. Really angry. It's corporations, she told Daehyun. Big galactic corporations. They're afraid of humans. And Beacon. Ask it on Beacon. 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 Afraid? Of us? Yes. Humans are too good at making alliances, too good at trade, too good at adapting. Hana showed him the data on her tablet. You've only been in galactic space for 50 years, but human businesses are already competing with corporations that have existed for centuries. You make friends too easily. Other species trust you. Daehyun frowned. So, they want to get rid of us? They want to push you back to your core worlds. Keep you contained. New Soul Station is a test. If they can drive humans out of here without consequences, they'll do it everywhere. And coalition security? Bribed or threatened. Either way, you're on your own. They sat in silence. The weight of the situation pressed down on them. How many humans on this station? Hana asked finally. About 200. Mostly families. Traders. A few veterans like me. Not warriors. No. Just people trying to survive. Hana stood up. Her wings spread slightly. Fire burned in her eyes. Then we make them warriors. Daehyun looked at her. You want to fight? This isn't your battle. Yes, it is. Hana's voice was fierce. You held an umbrella over me in the rain. You fed me when I was starving. You healed me when I was dying. You never asked for anything, never demanded payment. You just helped. She stepped closer. In Drakari culture, we talk about honor, about glory, about dying well in battle. But you taught me something better. You taught me that real warriors protect people. That strength means nothing if you only use it to hurt. Hana, I was broken, she said. Your people put me back together. Jiho gave me food with a smile. You gave me a home. This human community treated me with kindness when my own species spat on me. If this isn't my fight, then I don't deserve the life you gave me back. Daehyun studied her for a long moment. Then he nodded. Okay, let's call a meeting. They gathered the human community in a warehouse. 200 people came. Families, shop owners, station workers, a dozen veterans scattered among them. Daehyun explained the situation. Told them about the conspiracy. About how they were being pushed out. About how no help was coming. People were scared. Angry. But mostly scared. What can we do? A woman asked. Heijin, a teacher. We're not soldiers. We have children to protect. We run. Someone else said. Leave the station. Go somewhere safer. There is nowhere safer, Hana said. She stepped forward. 200 human eyes turned to her. If you run, they'll follow. If you leave, they'll push you out of the next station. And the next. Until humans have no place in the frontier sectors. But we can't fight them, a trader said. They have mercenaries, weapons, numbers. You have something better, Hana said. You have each other. She looked at the crowd. I'm Drakari. We're warrior species. We're taught that strength comes from individual power, from being the best fighter, the strongest, the fastest. That's how we measure worth. But I've lived with humans for a month now, and I've learned something. Your strength isn't individual. It's collective. You protect each other. You work together. You refuse to abandon anyone. She pointed at Daehyun. This human saved me when I was dying. Not because it benefited him. Not because I was useful. But because I was suffering. That's what humans do. And that's why you're dangerous. We're not dangerous, Heijin said quietly. We're just trying to survive. You're more dangerous than you know, Hana said. The corporations fear you. They fear how you make allies, how you adapt, how you refuse to give up. They fear that if humans establish themselves in the frontier, you'll change everything. Taeyang, a cargo pilot with military experience, stood up. What's your plan? We make this station too costly to take, Daehyun said. We show them that pushing humans out will be expensive. Bloody. Not worth it. We defend our section of the station, Hana added. Make it a fortress. Protect every family, every child, every business. And if they attack anyway? Someone asked. Then we fight, Daehyun said simply. Together. The meeting broke up. People were uncertain, scared, but they agreed to try. Over the next week, they prepared. Hana trained anyone who wanted to learn. Basic combat. How to defend yourself. How to protect others. How to use the environment. She discovered that humans were terrifying students. They learned fast, asked questions, adapted techniques to their own bodies, worked together, naturally. Where Drakari trained for glory, humans trained to survive. And survival was more dangerous than glory. Daehyun organized the veterans, 12 of them total. They planned defenses, mapped escape routes, cached supplies, turned the human section into a defended zone. Minji, the human doctor, set up medical stations, ready for casualties. Taeyang prepared his cargo ship. Just in case they needed to evacuate, Heijin gathered the children and taught them what to do in an emergency. Where to hide. Who to trust. The humans moved like a single organism. Everyone had a role. Everyone contributed. No one was left out. Hana watched in amazement. This was pack bonding. This was why humans were dangerous. They turned strangers into family, fear into determination, weakness into strength. On the 6th day, a message arrived. Anonymous, threatening. Humans have 1 week to leave New Sol Station voluntarily, or you will be removed by force. They called another meeting. Showed everyone the message. Do we run? Someone asked. No. Heejin said firmly. The teacher's voice was steady. We stay. We protect our home. We protect each other. Others agreed. One by one. Family by family. Even the scared ones. Even those with children. They voted. Unanimous. They would stay. That night, Hana stood on a balcony overlooking the human sector. Lights glowed in windows. Children played in the streets, protected by watching parents. Shop owners closed their stalls, talking and laughing. Daehyun joined her. Think we can win? I don't know, Hana said honestly. The numbers aren't in our favor. But I've never seen anything like this. The way your people come together. The way you protect each other. That's stronger than weapons. We're pack animals, Daehyun said. We bond. We protect our pack. It's in our nature. It's terrifying, Hana said. But she smiled. And beautiful. The next morning, Hana gathered everyone for a final speech. She stood tall, her scales gleaming, her wings spread wide. Fire danced in her eyes. The galaxy thinks you're weak, she said. Her voice carried across the crowd. They think your compassion is a flaw. They're wrong. I was dying in the rain, broken, abandoned, and a human saved me, not because it helped him, but because that's what humans do. She breathed out a stream of silver fire. Fully restored, fully healed. Tomorrow, we show them what happens when they threaten the pack. Tomorrow, we remind the galaxy why humans survived a death world, not through strength alone, but through strength used to protect. The humans roared. Not warriors, just people. But people who refused to run. People who stood together. And a broken Drakari warrior who had found something more important than honor. She had found family. The countdown began. 6 days until the deadline. 6 days to prepare for war. The attack came at dawn. 30 Kravik mercenaries armed with plasma rifles, backed by hired thugs from 5 other species. 60 warriors total against 200 humans. The mercenaries expected easy prey, soft humans who would scatter and run. They came through the main access corridor, weapons ready. Laughing and joking, they walked into prepared defenses. The first group hit the barricades. Heavy cargo containers blocking the corridor. The mercenaries started to climb over. That's when the humans attacked from above, from the sides, from hidden positions. Not with military weapons, with tools, with improvised weapons, with knowledge of their own territory. Taeyang and his pilot friends dropped cargo nets from overhead catwalks. Trapped 5 mercenaries in seconds. Minji and her medical team hit them with sedative gas. Developed from medical supplies. Not legal in combat. Very effective. The Kraviks who got through the barricades found themselves in a maze. The humans had rearranged the corridors, changed the layout, made it confusing, made it dangerous. Small groups of humans attacked and retreated. Hit and run. Never standing still. Always moving. Using doors and vents and maintenance shafts. The mercenaries had better weapons. But the humans had home advantage. And they had Hana. She met the lead Kravik in the main square. The same one from the alley. His arm had healed. His pride had not. You, he roared, broken blade, fighting for prey species. Hana's response was a column of white-hot fire. The Kravik dove aside, his armor smoking. I was broken, Hana said. Her voice was thunder. These humans put me back together. They taught me that honor isn't about winning. It's about choosing what to fight for. She spread her wings, silver scales gleaming. And I choose them. The battle in the square was brutal. Hana fought with everything she had learned. Every Drakari technique, every human tactic, Daehyun taught her. She was fire, and fury, and precision. But she wasn't alone. Daehyun fought beside her. His movements perfect, efficient, deadly. He targeted weak points, disabled enemies, protected Hana's flanks. They moved together like water, like they had fought together for years, dragon and human, warrior and soldier. Other humans joined the fight. Not all of them trained, not all of them skilled, but all of them determined. Heijin threw chemical mixtures, science experiments that created smoke and confusion. Jiho and the other young humans used speed and agility. Hit and run, distract and evade. The veterans moved with military precision, coordinated attacks, overlapping fields of fire. The mercenaries were stronger individually, but they fought as individuals. For payment, for reputation, the humans fought as a pack. For each other, for their families, for their home. The battle raged for 3 hours. Then something unexpected happened. A Zentari trader who lived near the human sector threw open his shop, offered medical supplies to the humans. For free. A Quillan engineer shut down power to the corridors the mercenaries were using, trapped them in darkness. A group of station workers blocked the mercenary reinforcements, refused to let them through. Other species were helping. Not fighting, but helping. The lead Kravik saw it happening, saw his advantage disappearing, saw humans making allies even in the middle of a battle. "This is impossible," he screamed. "You're prey species. You should be running." Daehyun shot him with a stunner. Watched him fall. We stopped running a long time ago. By noon, the battle was over. The mercenaries retreated, limping and wounded. They had expected easy prey. They found a coordinated defense. They found humans who refused to break. More importantly, they found a community that stood together. The human sector was damaged but intact. 12 injured. None dead. Minji's medical stations worked perfectly, but the victory came with a cost. The humans were exhausted. If the mercenaries came back with more forces, they might not survive a second attack. Then coalition security finally arrived, led by a Zentari captain who looked embarrassed. "The bribes have been exposed," the captain said. "The conspiracy is unraveling. The corporations involved are facing investigations." "And the mercenaries?" Daehyun asked. "Arrested. All of them." The captain looked at the defended human sector, at the barricades, at the determined faces. "You did well. Better than anyone expected. We protected our home," Daehyun said simply. The captain nodded. "Yes, you did." He paused. "The Galactic Coalition is reviewing its policies toward human settlements. What happened here made a lot of people uncomfortable, in a good way." After the captain left, the humans gathered. Tired, but alive. Wounded, but victorious. Hana stood with them. For the first time since her exile, she felt like she belonged somewhere. 2 days later, a message arrived for Hana. Encrypted, from the Silvercrest clan, her people. She opened it alone in Daehyun's apartment, hands shaking. The message was from her former commander, the one who had branded her. "We have watched you fight. We have seen you lead. We have seen you choose loyalty over our honor codes. The council has reconsidered your status. Your brands can be removed. Your honor can be restored. You may return home." Hana stared at the message for a long time. Everything she wanted for 2 cycles. Restoration. Home. Her place. Among the Silvercrest. She could go back. Daehyun came home and found her sitting in the dark, the message still glowing on the tablet. "What's wrong?" he asked. She showed him the message. He read it carefully. Hana stood up and walked to the window. Outside, the human sector was rebuilding. Children played in the streets. Shops opened. People laughed and talked and lived. No, she said finally. No, no. She turned to face him. I've found something more important than honor. I've found home. Your clan is offering you everything back. They're offering me what they took away. But I've learned something here. Real honor isn't about codes or brands or glory. It's about choosing what matters. Choosing who to protect. Choosing where you belong. She gestured at the community outside. These people treated me with dignity when my own species abandoned me. They fed me, healed me, fought beside me, not because I was useful, but because I was part of their pack. Tears filled her eyes. You held an umbrella over a dying dragon girl in the rain. You asked for nothing, expected nothing. You just helped. That's not weakness. That's the truest strength in the galaxy. Daehyun smiled. You're sure? I'm sure. Hana deleted the message. I'm staying. Months passed. Life on New Seoul Station returned to normal. Better than normal. The human sector thrived. Other species who saw the battle spread word. Humans who stand together. Humans who protect their pack. Humans who turn strangers into allies. Business increased. More families moved in. The community grew. Hana opened a training facility. Taught combat to anyone who wanted to learn. Any species. She taught Drakari techniques, combined with human tactics. But more importantly, she taught what she learned from Daehyun. That strength is meaningless without purpose. She became a bridge between human culture and galactic culture. Respected by both. Trusted by all. Daehyun continued his quiet life. But now it included Hana. They lived together. Worked together. Two broken warriors who found peace. On the anniversary of the day he found her in the rain, Hana gave him a gift, an umbrella, reinforced with Drakari technology, virtually indestructible, lightweight, and strong. For the next broken warrior you find, she said with a fanged smile. Daehyun laughed. A real, genuine laugh. Hopefully, they won't need it. Maybe not, but if they do, we'll be ready. That evening, they stood on their balcony, watching the station's artificial rain fall. It was beautiful now. Not depressing. Just rain. Below them, the station bustled with life. Human children played with Zentari children. Kravik traders haggled with human merchants. Species mixed and mingled. A young Quillen sat alone near a maintenance access, looking lost, scared. Hana saw her first. Nudged Daehyun. Pointed. He looked down. Saw the scared child. Picked up his new umbrella. Together? Hana asked. Always, he replied. They walked down the stairs. Out into the rain. Towards someone who needed help. The Quillen looked up as they approached. Fear in her eyes. Daehyun opened the umbrella and held it over her. You okay? The child stared. At the human, at the Drakari, at the kindness. I'm lost, she whispered. We'll help you find your way, Hana said gently. They walked together through the rain. A human, a Drakari, and a lost child. On a station where humans had proven something important, that compassion is strength. That protecting others is honor. That standing together is victory. The galaxy had tried to teach humans to be hard, to be cold, to follow the honor codes of warrior species, but humans refused. They stayed soft in all the right ways, and hard in all the necessary ways. They made allies, built communities, turned strangers into family, and sometimes, when it rained, they held umbrellas over broken warriors, because that's what humans did. That's what made them dangerous. That's what made them strong. That's what made them humanity. Hana looked at Daehyun as they walked. This human who saved her. This veteran who taught her that surviving wasn't cowardice, that kindness wasn't weakness, that choosing who to protect was the highest form of strength. "Thank you," she said quietly. "For what?" "For holding the umbrella." Dahyun smiled. "Anytime." Above them, the rain fell. Below them, the station thrived. Around them, a community lived and laughed and grew. And in the heart of it all, two warriors stood together. Not because they had to, but because they chose to. Because that's what family does. The dragon girl no longer slept outside in the rain. She had a home. She had a purpose. She had a pack. And the human veteran who held an umbrella over her had gained something too. A sister in arms. A friend. Proof that his choice to help mattered. The galaxy would remember this. Remember New Soul Station. Remember what happened when humans were pushed. When they chose to stand. When they fought for each other. Humanity, fuck yeah. Not because they were the strongest. Not because they were the most advanced. Not because they were warrior species, but because they were human. And that was enough.